A BBC Breakfast reporter had been discussing the riots in Dublin this week when his nose noticeably began to run. Twitter followers exclaimed that he had snot pouring from his nose at one point during the broadcast, and the unpleasant symptoms left some feeling nauseous. He had been discussing the heavy police presence in Dublin city centre yesterday evening following a terrifying night of violence. Attention was then distracted from the heavy subject, when Twitter users spotted the reporter's on-air mishap. At Jason he 77786362 exclaimed, "At BBC Breakfast poor guy. Runny nose as reporting about Northern Ireland riots. Had to lick it up with his tongue. That was a bogier, sick." At Dorries chimed in, "At BBC Breakfast that reporter from Dublin seriously needs a tissue or a longer tongue. That actually made me heave. Why did no one tell him he had snot pouring out of his nose? Hashtag Dublin riot hashtag Ireland." At Sally Fraser one added, "At BBC Breakfast pass that reporter a tissue please." Meanwhile, the reporter had soldiered on and continued to discuss what is said to have been the heaviest night of violence in Dublin for decades, despite speculation that he was unwell. Become an Express Premium member. Support fearless journalism. Read the Daily Express online. Advert free. Get super fast page loading. Start 30-day free trial. Earlier this month, host Sally Nugent also sparked concern for her health as she visibly battled a cold while on air. Although she looked as picture perfect as ever, her voice gave her illness away as she had the bunged up sound that accompanies a cold. Fans sympathized with her and praised her for soldiering on. Steely said, "Shout out to at Sally Nugent who presented at BBC Breakfast full of a cold. Proper, trooper, go Sal." John added, "At Sally Nugent well done for soldiering on today. I believe we may have the same cold." And Kaz wrote, "How ill does Sally sound this morning? I think she needs a lemsip and to go home to rest hashtag BBC Breakfast." Last year, Naga Munchetti was forced to leave BBC Breakfast mid-show as she struggled with her voice. After leaving Charlie State on the sofa alone, he explained to viewers, "You may have noticed this morning that Naga has just stepped away from the sofa. This morning, she has a slight struggle in her voice. We'll see how that works out." BBC Breakfast airs on BBC One from 6 a.m.